From Hollywood to your hood, public breakdowns are everywhere. But what if we turn gossip into growth? On Allegedly, we react to the wildest viral stories, celebs spiraling, influencers breaking down, and infamous moments you can't unsee. But we don't just watch, we work. We break it down, do the self-work, and find the breakthrough hiding in their mistakes. New episodes drop every Monday on YouTube at My Coach Ministry, because your healing might just begin with someone else's headline. Allegedly, where the breakdown is the beginning of your breakthrough.
Thank you so much for staying with me so far. I'm Coach Raquel, and this is our Allegedly segment, and we're just going to go right into it, of course. Let me just be just a reminder, we're thankful for every single person that we mentioned in today's episode. We thank you for your story and your breakdown that inspires us and motivates us to do our own self-work so that we can achieve breakthrough. All right? Absolutely. And so before I get into the story, let's just go straight to copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Today we have an interesting topic that we're going to be talking about, and I just want to read something, share something with you before I get into it. It is my hope that as we go through this segment that we understand that this is not about judgment, okay? We're not seeking to belittle, demean, ostracize, marginalize, exercise, or be hateful. That's not what we're about, all right? We want to talk about what is real, what is true, what is happening in our world and in our communities. And we want to discuss it, talk about it, share the information so we can all be in awareness and so that we can be triggered, hopefully, to do some self-work so that we can all experience breakthrough. Because when we experience breakthroughs, then our communities will experience breakthroughs. All right. So collective, let's step into Allegedly, where headlines meet hard truths. Now, reportedly, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Before his passing, he said, "With strong families comes smaller government and a better country. Put dads back into families," right? Now, politics aside, let's ask, is there truth in that? Let's look at the numbers, not just in America, but across the world where we live, love, and raise children. That's right. That's right. So, the US and Western world. In the US, 1 in 4 children live without a father in the home, without a father at home. That's what the research says. That's nearly 18.4 million kids. Among Black families, over 60% of children are in single-parent households, usually led by mothers. And I'm going to show you that data as well, right? So let me go back to here. So what I just said, in the US, 1 in 4 children live without a father at home. That's nearly 18.4 million kids. Among Black families, over 60% of children are in single parent households, usually led by mothers. Right. And this isn't just America's story. In the UK, the rate of children in single-parent households is around 21%, one of the highest in Europe. Canada and other Western nations echo similar patterns. Family breakdown and absent fathers are becoming common, with ripple effects on schools, income, and mental health. The Caribbean. Let's look at what it looks like for the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, father absence has almost become normalized. Studies in Jamaica, Trinidad, and Barbados show that between 40 to 50% of children grow up without their biological fathers in the home. In Jamaica specifically, a 2022 UNICEF report noted that the majority of households are mother headed and too many fathers remain financially or emotionally absent. This absence impacts everything from childhood development to cycle of poverty and even national economics. Now let's go over to Africa. And then there's Africa. Across the continent, the story is complex. In South Africa, research shows that over 60% of children live without their biological father. In countries like Nigeria, the numbers are lower but rising, especially in urban centers. War, migration, and economic pressures often mean fathers are physically distant, even if still alive. The truth is, whether through choice, circumstance, or systemic barriers, fatherlessness is not just a statistic. It's a wound on the family unit, and it stretches from Harlem to Kingston, from Lagos to Johannesburg. And I want to share, right now. So the question is, so the question isn't just what did Charlie Kirk mean? The deeper question is, what are we doing to restore the presence, power, and purpose of fathers worldwide? Strong families raise strong nations. Moms have carried the weight for generations, but the absence of fathers is costing us in poverty rates, in violence, in education gaps, in broken cycles that keep repeating. For Black dads in America, the Caribbean, Africa, this is not a call out. This is a call in. Your presence matters. Your absence is expensive. Your presence matters and your absence is expensive. Now, I'm going to share a video and continue the conversation. Now, listen, let me be very, very clear. I was raised with my father for the most part. He was the most consistent parent in my life. I really did not. I know who my mother was, but I don't really know my mother. Like, I don't know her characteristics. I don't know. I when I say to know someone, I'm talking about having invested time, spent time with them to learn their idiosyncrasies and stuff like that. So when I say I don't know my mother, I'm not saying I don't know of her or who she was. I know who she was, but I was not raised by her. And for most of my life, I was denied by her, right? I was a kid that she would say she'd go to the back so nobody can see you. There was a thing that my mother went through where it's almost as though she didn't want people to know how many children she had. And that's her prerogative, right? I don't know why she did it, for whatever reason. I don't think it was, I know it wasn't hate or whatever. She was going through what she was going through and she was doing her best. And I'm okay with that. She's not what I'm hoping to talk about. The reason I said that is because I'm saying, so most of my time, since she had me go to be with my father, most of my time was spent with my father. And in a way, I feel that's why I have such a strong mind, because my father was not there was no intimacy in my growing up, in that I grew up without hugs. I was a child that grew up without hugs, right? So I didn't really get that. But what I got was a sense of self that I cannot explain. And I know it's because of my dad, because my father, it was important. He taught me how to think. And the way he taught me was not, it was what people would consider rough, but it wasn't to me, but it was more sensible. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't, I fell down and my knee got scratched, so he run and no, it's like, get up. What do you mean? Get up. Rise. Like my father instilled in me a sense of independence and self and confidence, a self-confidence, a self-esteem, like self-esteem issues I don't have. Like, I'm not even thinking about those things. My mind is more on being authentic, being the real version of myself. I know there's nothing I cannot do. He raised me with such confidence, such authenticity, such and I felt I know my daddy loved me. You know what I mean? He let me say this. I'm not saying he was the perfect parent. I'm saying he gave me all he had. And I'm trying to say there was a difference in being raised by a man. There's just a difference. I'm not even quite sure what the difference is, but there's a certain degree of sense of self that I have, that self-reliance that I have, that I know that I have that because of my father. I know it's because of his influence why I have it. And I'm saying that to say when kids are, I don't know if I should say especially girls, when kids are raised without their fathers, I think they become vulnerable to emotional weakness, or I don't know if that's what it's, that's not even the, they become vulnerable to lack of emotional intelligence, because I feel sometimes like mothers are so protective. They are so, well, I don't, maybe I'm talking about mothers I've seen, not my own mother, because I didn't get that influence. I didn't, my mother had no influence on me in the sense of having parented me, because she never did. But from what I've seen, there's something different that dads do that you have to see it to understand it. They just approach things in a different way. And for me, I feel like it was in a way that made me know you're capable. I'm not coming to save you like that, but I've got you. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not coming to save you, but you know I'm here. You know I'm here. So get up, do what you need to do. Think back, what do you mean so-and-so told you to do that? So what did you think about it, Raquel? What are you going to do? What are your choices? You can't come tell me. I remember one day I was saying to my father, like I was in a fight or whatever. And my father is just like, so what did you do wrong? I'm here telling him what everybody else did wrong. And he's only interested in, so what did you do wrong? I need you to remember that what's the most important is what you do, your choices. You choose your involvement in whatever. So there's a sense of self that he instilled in me that gives me this confidence, this, I can be in a space, even in my relationships with men, right? My father never really taught me how to interact with men, right? But what he taught me about myself, it's like, even if I'm in a thing with a guy, right, and I'm unclear, I still have something inside of me like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So I'll leave before certain abuse begin, because there is a sense of autonomy that I have, right? And that's because of my father. That's where that comes from. So I'm saying all of this to say, this is not to slight men. This is not to harm men. It's because, as it says, right, your absence is expensive and your presence is too important for you not to be around. And I feel like as a society we become too comfortable with it. And so I have a video that that I'd like to share. And what I'm showing on there with you, sharing with you right now above there is the statistics for single parenting in the US, Jamaica, and global. And then you have children's living arrangements by race in the US. So you have the black, hang on a second. Right. You have the rate for the black, which is, it's almost 50%, as you can see. And then you have, if you look at Jamaica, it's almost 50%. It's so funny because the rate in Jamaica and the rate the rate of children's living arrangements in Jamaica and the rate of the black overall in the US is pretty much the same. It's almost the same thing. Very, very close to the 50%. And the data that I just read to you said 60%. I got this data after I got that one, but all the resources are there, right, to show that it's a problem. And who cannot see that this is a problem contributes to the problem, in my opinion, right? Okay, so let's go to the video now. No judgments, just mindfulness.
Women are not being provided for, taken care of, and you're not building family. How many more women he's going to sleep with? It's crazy because he said this is a powerful man of God. How come that man of God didn't have impact in Tyreek's life? These are the type of things you got to act.
All right, I'm so sorry. Let's begin again because I forgot to put their YouTube channels there. So this is Ringo Reaction TV, and you can find him on YouTube as Ringo TV Reactions. Ringo TV Reactions. That's 2 words. Ringo TV Reactions. Okay, he's on YouTube. Somebody I follow, somebody I listen to every now and again. All right, so we're going to go from the top again, and as usual, I thank everyone who participated in this story. We value you, we value your experience, and we value the value we get from having these conversations around your story, because it inspires us to do our self work so we can experience breakthrough. So we just want to say thank you. And he's going to be speaking about the Tyreek thing, but I want you to look at the statistics, right? Or maybe I should do this after. Let's do this after. Let's go.
Women are not being provided for, taken care of, and you're not building family. How many more women he's going to sleep with? It's crazy because he said this is a powerful man of God. How come that man of God didn't have impact in Tyreek's life? These are the type of things you got to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you slept with 1,000 women, that doesn't make you more of a man. The issue here is any man that is sleeping around with a bunch of women, and these women are not in your lives. These women are not being provided for, taken care of, and you're not building family or legacy, then you are known as a whoremonger male. That's nothing to be proud of.
You either a sex addict and you out here just trying to put your wee-wee in everything and you just losing your damn mind, or it's coming from something. You can't be triggered by triggers that don't exist, right? So what's triggering your sexual appetite?
What's triggering our sexual appetite as men is that we were designed by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to mate with women. We were designed to procreate, to build family and legacy. The problem today as men is that we're not focusing on God's plan. Instead, we have become whoremonger males who just want to sleep around and leave a trail of bodies and broken women. And this is why we have so many single mothers in the world, because most men are not responsible for what they do with women.
Do you think having all those kids was a response to your trauma?
Yeah, 100. Now I'm learning that now. Yeah, and it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process, because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move. And, you know, okay, they coming at me, they asking me, opposed to like doing a mature thing and saying, hey, well, it probably makes more sense to do this. And then obviously life happens as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have 12 kids. It was more about like, yo, I'm gonna just live life and have fun, and whatever happens, I can handle it. When it probably, you know, being almost 45 now, I can sit back and be like, yeah, if I would have thought the process through a little bit more and took time.
So listen, I'm never going to knock anybody for reaching an epiphany whenever they reach an epiphany, right? Life is a journey. And I'm glad that Nick finally did realize it. In my lifetime, I have witnessed and I have admittedly participated in behaviors that derive from having some level of a God complex. I can be very honest. I can be very honest. I'm not going to get into detail in my personal life, but there is this thing, and I can't speak for other cultures of men because I'm not closely affiliated, but there's this thing I notice with some Black men that when we come into something, when we come into money, when we come into power, that we take on this, I can do anything I want because I can. And we don't have the time to dig all the way into it, but I think a lot of it comes from the world sending us symbols that or signals that we ain't shit, we ain't nobody, we lower than, we less than. So when we get a little something and we become a little something, we want to prove things to ourselves, to our community, to the greater world. And we just run around just doing things that we're not supposed to do, like he said, just because I can. And I will admit to you, being somebody who's participated in some of those behaviors on one level or another, it does feel good. It does make you beat your chest. It does make you feel like you got the biggest dick in the room. It does. And, you know, I had to look at myself one day and I had to say, when is enough enough? Like, when is enough enough? Who are you trying to prove this to? And when is your cup going to be full enough for you to move on from this behavior? You know, when we start talking about everything that's going on with Diddy, I think that there's a certain psychological component in what Diddy was doing that was rooted in this drunken power. I'm doing all of this because I can. And I will tell you guys from personal experience, those behaviors, whatever they may be for every different man, they are very addictive because they feed a wounded part of you. They feed that part of you that always felt less than, that always felt like nothing. And it's like, yeah, now I get to cure this part of me. And oh my God, it feels good. I want more. I want more. I want more.
What if I told you that 80...
So I just want to credit, that was Funky Dineva, and he's also on YouTube as Funky Dineva, so you can check that out. I want to thank... Wow. Isn't this interesting? This is, I don't know, like, it is my hope that the good men, when they see this, and I don't even want to talk too much in between because I want it to just play so we can see it, you know. So I'm just going to continue because I want us to watch it and see it, because I think there's a certain amount of awareness that I don't know if our men just choose to ignore or pretend like they're not aware, you know, because there's some people who come at me like, you know, like that's not true. Or even when we have the questions of, do black men like black women, like persons are quick to say that's not true, whatever the case may be. But I hope seeing it this way helps. So let's I'm just going to play it to the end and I won't say anything else.
It feels good. I want more. I want more. I want more.
What if I told you that 80 million men here in the U.S. are subscribed to OnlyFans? 80 million men here in the U.S. are subscribed to OnlyFans, but the population of men here in the U.S. is 165 million. So that means roughly half of the male population subscribe to OnlyFans. But what if I also told you that the women that put out content on OnlyFans here in the U.S. is only 1.4 million women? So you mean to tell me we have 80 million men here in the U.S. subscribed to OnlyFans to 1.4 million women? I don't like to make comparisons. I don't like to do that at all. But if I had to, Jesus, if I had to, who sounds like they need help a little bit more? Who sounds like they need therapy? Who sounds like they need life coaches? Who sounds like they need mentors? Most importantly, who sounds like they need Jesus? God, dog. What if I told you out of those 80 million men subscribed to the 1.4 million women, we got husbands, we got fathers, we got doctors, we got lawyers, we got grandfathers, we got men in high up positions, we got police officers, we got politicians subscribed to 1.4 million women. And this make my head hurt because when I mention these type of things and when I talk about these type of things, I'm simping, I'm pandering, of stating facts, of pointing out the deceptive, lustful, perverted behaviors in men.
Oh, my dad raped my mother at 11. When he was 26. She was special needs. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I look just like this man. I act like him. I'm built in my physical and the way that own a room that's just like him. So I thought, what else do I have? Now, when is that coming? And when is it going to... It's not, because I'm also a man who makes decisions based on what I want to be on this earth.
The number one objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family? Yes. That is the number one priority. We don't have to overthink it. Every number gets better for every community if dads are around. Every number gets worse when dads are not around. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. And for daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so right, you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. And so I'm glad to hear about the fatherhood initiative. And if I may speak to the men out there, you are a coward and a petulant child if you impregnate a woman and abandon her. You have a moral obligation to stay with the women of your choosing, hopefully in the confines of marriage. This idea that men can just abandon women and leave the consequences without any responsibility has been a catastrophe for our country. We are talking about how men need to be men again, in the home, take responsibility, provide for your family, and with strong families comes smaller government and a better country.
Wow, powerful, right? And we have to get to a place where we can at the very least speak the truth about something. You see, calling a thing is, it's not anything to be ashamed of. It's not anything to be to berate someone over. That's not the goal here. The goal is creating awareness. Like, we've got to see the statistics, right? We have to see what's happening and be able to decide that our kids, it's the kids, these kids deserve better. These kids deserve better. And as far as I'm concerned, getting a woman pregnant and leaving her should be a crime. It should be a crime because I think it's one of the worst crimes in the world. I think single motherhood is violent. I think if any parent should be the single parent, it should be a father, because the hero needs to be in the home. I believe that if more dads were home, that superhero would be in the home. And I believe that politicians and celebrities would not have the kind of clout they have now if dads were in the home and having impact in the home. And I think for me, one of the greatest challenges I have is I don't understand how we have quote unquote good men and we're not hearing them shouting from the mountaintops to change this. I mean, we need mentorship for men. We need single men gathering men and pulling them together and creating programs to support them and calling them to a higher purpose. Like, if you're a good man, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about it? Who is holding men accountable? Who is wrangling them up together and say, come, you're a better man. You've got to be better than this. When a lot of these men were raised without a man in the house. Right? So what is single motherhood producing? And this whole concept of blaming mothers, I don't even know where that comes from. The absenteeism that happened is not her fault, right? A man makes his own choices. right? And she cannot be evaluated. We cannot evaluate a single mother on the outcome of two parents. You can't be comparing the two. A two-parent household is going to produce something different from a single-parent household. All right, so you cannot be comparing a single mother household with the outcome of that of a double parent household. You just can't do that. A single parent household is going to produce that of a single parent household, and a double parent household is going to produce that of a double parent household. We cannot be okay with this. And that's why for me, I say stop having children. Until we figure this out, we need to stop having children, because it's just not fair to the child. It's not fair. It's not fair, you know. And I was so happy, honestly, when I found that clip. I was like, I wasn't even looking for it, but I guess, you know, the algorithm, because of what happened with him and everything, and the whole algorithm, it was there. And when I saw it, I was like, thank you, because I've been saying this, especially on my Facebook page or whatever. I've been saying it over and over and over. And I'm just happy that there's this male who put it in a way that I'm saying it. Yeah, so I'm not saying there are not other men talking about manhood or whatever, but this man spoke about it in a way that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, strong families equals smaller government. And sometimes I wonder, is that why we're okay with it? Because no, we have a bigger government with more power. We have more power. I don't know. I'm just asking because I cannot understand for the life of me why a government of any nation would not prioritize fathers being responsible. Where are the penalties? Where are the penalties for failed manhood? And where are the programs for redevelopment for those men who were raised in a single parent household headed by a woman? Which means that he never got the principles from a man that he needed for manhood. Where are those programs to redevelop the mind, or to retrain, or to educate? You know what I mean? Address the traumas and everything. Where are those programs? Why isn't it priority? But we keep talking about fertility rates. Why should we continue having children if we don't have parents to parent them properly and effectively? Why? It's unfair. I grew up without a parent, and it crippled me. I was crippled by it for the rest of my life because I never got to know my mother. I don't know what the word mom means. When I say mommy means just like a ball, it's the same thing. There's no real meaning for me there. Because I never got the softness of my mother. I never got the nurturing of my mother. I didn't get all of those things. It's wrong. Some of us don't even get to know our lineage. We don't know where we come from. What kind of careless reproduction is this going on? We don't know where we're from. I'm trying to get mine done now to know where am I from. Some of us don't even know if we have the right parents, if it's the right father we're assigned to, whatever. How can we're like leaves out here. Leaves. How can this be okay? It's human beings you're bringing into the world, people who are going to have to deal with other people. And then we blame people for the brokenness. We keep blaming. One of the hardest things, man, to digest is when I hear them blaming single mothers. What did you want her to do? What did you want her to do by herself? She did the best she could. Absenteeism is also a problem. It has impact. Why don't we talk about what the effect of absenteeism? Absent parents. What about that? And when I hear men, I remember there was this post on TikTok, and I commented, and I said, single parenting has got to be the toughest job ever. And somebody responded, I'm not assuming, the post appeared to be male, right? But I can't confirm that. And the person was saying how it's not the toughest job because when you work and with heavy equipment and everything, how that is, sir, you don't take the equipment home. What are we talking about here? Do you take the equipment home? When you're sleeping, does that equipment come and say, mommy, mommy, mommy? Does the equipment do that? I have watched, well, it's not in all cases where my sisters were single parents, right? But I've watched women manage motherhood. And oh my gosh, when I remember getting dirt for my sister because she was pregnant and frying the dirt. I remember getting her young plums. I don't know if we understand enough the process of child's birth and what these women go through carrying that child inside of them. I don't know if we really understand it and appreciate and value it enough, because I'm telling you, my heart bleeds sometimes when I hear how people handle single mothers or just mothers. We need to put some respect on these people's names, and where we see they need support, lend them a hand instead of tearing them down. They're already going through a lot. And I think it's also important for a man to be in the home so he can have sex with her during that pregnancy. It's important. So he can give her intimacy, hold her hand, help her when she don't know what to do with the child, when she need a break. I have persons who I'm close to who, I'm going to say this. I have this guilt that I've been carrying. And honestly, like, I sit with myself and I'm like, do I disconnect from this relationship? Or do I live with the guilt? Or the next thing is that I'm praying about it. I'm not sure, because I am close to someone who's a single mother. And the guilt I feel when I hear her stressing and I don't know what to do, because it's not like she can say, hey, I want you to do something, right? And I can't do anything because I'm not being asked to do anything. And it's a lot. But I'm telling you, the guilt is so, the guilt, when I listen to what she's going through, I just feel so useless. I'm just like, why am I in her life? Like, why am I here? You know, and you almost feel like you want to get up and go to create some community around that person, but you also can't do that because you don't know if that's best either. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, we need fathers in the homes. We need fathers who, if you're going to get someone pregnant, then you must budget your time for the next 18 to 21 years, that during this time, I'm going to be a certain kind of man, a certain kind of gentleman, where I'm going to become that foundation upon which my child and that child's mother will rest their weary heads. And if you can't do that, you have no business getting anyone pregnant. There's another clip that Charlie was talking about when he spoke about the reason, in his opinion, the reason for a man wearing a black and white suit to a wedding, where it's a symbol, it's symbolism of I died to myself. If you're not prepared to die to yourself, you have no business getting a woman pregnant. And don't tell me about she let you get her pregnant. I'm talking to the man. It's two people, but I'm not talking to the woman today. You're the man. Hold on. Who's the boss here? Are you the woman in the relationship? Because if you're the man in the relationship, we know men are the leaders. That's what the patriarchy says. So lead. You're leading. Whether you own it or not, you're leading. Whether you've allowed yourself to be led or not, you were leading, and you allowed yourself to be led. But you're the one organizing this meeting. You're the one here doing your thing. And if you're not prepared to block out the next 18 to 21 years to being faithful, to show up, to provide, to protect, to love, to honor, to cherish, to govern, to lead, you have no business getting anybody pregnant. So get a vasectomy if you want to go around and have a lot of sex. Because it's just wrong. I mean, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do, because it's not, I mean, I have no place in your life to tell you, but as a member of society, I'm saying it on this podcast. But I don't have to say it. You don't have to listen to me. The statistics speak for themselves. If you're a man and you're okay with this, then manhood is wasted upon you, in my opinion. And you cannot tell me you're a good man and you are okay with these statistics. You can no longer pretend like you don't know. Don't tell me about good man. How many men are you holding accountable? Okay, so you're a man who doesn't have children. How many men with children do you know? And how many do you hold accountable in your circles? And, you know, I'm just saying, it's a very, black men, I'm expecting to hear from you conversations like that of Charlie Kirk. And it's not that I'm comparing you to him, but the feedback I've been getting from men, they don't own it. And they behave as though it is not real, it's not happening, and they're denying it. And it's very sad that I don't hear enough black male voices advocating against this atrocity. Anyway, in closing, so as we reflect on Kirk's statement and the tragedy of his reported assassination, maybe the bigger lesson is this: if we want stronger nations, stronger schools, stronger economies, it starts at the family table. Because allegedly, the strength of a government really does rest on the strength of its families. And any government that does not want strong families is a government that wants to enslave its people. That's my position. And no family is complete if dads are missing from the picture. Any government that does not prioritize the hero being in his home with his family is a government who wants to outnumber the people so they can control and enslave them. Because I cannot imagine that anyone seeking to build a big nation does not prioritize fathers in families. How? So, in the end, it is my prayer and my hope that if there are good men out there, I'm a single woman, so I wouldn't know. If there are good men out there, I'm going to be searching to hear your voices, because this is an area that is begging for advocacy in the black community. Black male leadership is in desperate need. We're in desperate need of black male leadership that is visible, that is dominating, that is populated, not in secret corners. The world needs to hear your voice, Mr. Black Man. We need to hear from you. All right. And I say that with respect. No disrespect meant at all. Not at all. This is your reminder. Family, protect the bond, strengthen the bond, honor the bond. Until next time, right? Anyway, before we go, one more thing I want to say. Support is intentional. Support is intentional, or should be intentional. Be intentional about supporting. And so I've learned that support works best when it's mutually beneficial and mutually agreed upon. Because here's the truth that I've learned anyway. One, those who need you can unintentionally misuse or even abuse your time and energy. Number two, unregulated charity often leads to burnout and failure. Number three, real accountability and value require clear boundaries. Supporting entrepreneurs is a joy to me, but I've had to learn how to give without feeling exploited. For a long time, people would call me randomly for advice or professional help without booking my service. It left me feeling very drained. So that's part of why I created the Calm Collective, a space where I can pour out support in ways that are structured, healthy, and life-giving, both for me and those who join. Now I don't have to say no. So now I don't have to say no. I can say how. So reminder, looking for a space to grow without burning out, join me. So if you're looking for a space to grow without burning out, join me inside the Calm Collective. Connect free in our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/MCM Calm Collective. And for leaders building serious brands, apply at mycoachministry.com. Let's thrive together. All right? We love our dads. I'm a daddy's girl through and through. I can just imagine if my father got support, emotional support, training support, relational support, man, he would have done such a great job, because I saw his efforts. Dads, stick around. Stick around. One word, stick around. I don't know how, but stick around, because when you do, my God, you're so valuable. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, for joining me for Refresh, Relax, Renew. It was my pleasure being here with you. Thank you so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let me know your thoughts, all right? We don't seek to judge or to cause harm, but we definitely want to have honest conversations and share my real thoughts on things, because that's why I'm here. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been such a pleasure. I'm Coach Raquel. See you next time. Mwah. Bye. I love to open new packages. I want to deliver the latest information on the top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Raquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I'm so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Raquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.
Welcome to mycoachministry.com. We're on a mission to empower 1 million purpose-driven entrepreneurs, turning calling into currency. Through strategic coaching, we guide visionary leaders, brand elevation, and creative empowerment, helping leaders break barriers and own their identity. Build impactful, wealth-generating brands that echo across generations.